Please come.
Good.
Good evening. Take a seat.
Thanks.
So, Aakriti, tell us what is your vision for yourself in the future?
So, I want personal growth in my life so that every day when I wake up, I have something to be motivated about in a day, and I want to see myself as a growing as a motivated individual in long term.
How much empathy do you think you have for society? Do you feel strongly about helping others, or is it just something that you think about rarely?
So I think I'm quite motivated and quite empathetic about people, and I think that has come up because I was living a lot with my grandmother, and I was also helping my college NSS visually blind students. So I think maybe that's why I'm more empathetic.
That is excellent because National Service Scheme in the colleges and schools is a very good scheme. So tell us more about NSS and its objectives and your own experience.
So it's a voluntary educational scheme that has been guiding the students for very long, since it's a very old scheme which came up in 1950s, and it has been a major program in the educational institutions right now. And it doesn't just makes the people motivated, it also helps in broadening the vision of the students of today's times, so that they can not just focus on curricular activities, rather on the societal needs, and to make up their mind that in the long run they need to serve the people of the nation through the services.
You worked with the visually impaired students. So what was your personal experience? Was there any moment when it was enlightening for you, or you felt a wow kind of feeling, or you felt that you are doing something very important here?
Yes, sir. So the Daulat Ram College, from where I have done my graduation, it hosts the maximum amount of blind students in the whole of the Delhi University. And while I was reading scripts for them, I was writing the assignments for the visually blind people. So they used to read out it for me, and I would write that for them. So it helped me realize that we cannot take anything for granted, and we should not judge any person on the basis of one disability. It's not that they don't have just the eyesight, it's that their vision is so much more than what they can see. So their imagination was much more than what I could think of, even without thinking and seeing the world in the way we are seeing the world.
Absolutely. There are some officers in the civil services who are also
Yes, sir.
visually impaired, and they are outstanding officers, some of them.
Yes.
Okay, what is your vision for the youth of India? Now, the youth of India is in a situation where there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of pressure of social media, expectations of parents are growing. There are even cases of depression and even suicide at times. What is the youth feeling at the moment as a young person yourself, and how can we ensure a brighter future for them? What needs to be done at the national level to handle the pressures that the youth are facing?
So I think recently what we have seen, cyberbullying cases and other mental pressures, even WHO has pointed out that it is among the top 5 threats that the world is facing. I think youth in India is mostly concerned, majorly concerned about the unemployment issues and not being able to handle the pressures of the society in the competitive world that we are seeing right now. So I think at the national level, we should frame a specific policy for the youth of the nation. Recently, the government has also come up with My GOV app, and the Youth Affairs Ministry has also come up with various projects. So I think there is a need for expanding that and to make a specific policy for the youth, especially in terms of utilizing their energies in a positive way by providing them proper apprenticeship, internships, to give them skills in order to find jobs, not just by like we are seeing that H1B visa and all these issues have come up. So we need to have a homegrown industry where they can work so that their energies can be utilized in a good manner. Otherwise, their energies will be wasted in the different platforms of social media and other unhealthy or unsocietal ways which are not good for our society.
Yeah, so the youth is often turning to negative ways to handle the pressure, and drugs are also there in some parts of the country. Depression, as I said, alcohol could be there. Do you think it is important for them to take therapy at times, and also counseling should be carried out at a greater level in educational institutions as well as maybe in corporates also, and in companies also?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. There is a need for mental health awareness as well as more focus on therapies as a normal medical need, not as a specific or a medical condition. It should be taken very positively by the society, which is currently not so in Indian context. So, if we see therapies, they are costly. The psychiatrists and psychologists are very less in India as compared to the world averages that we see. There are around 70,000 psychiatrists that we have in India. But with the mental health policy coming up, we have a national suicide strategy also. So the government has come up with Manodarpan and other initiatives. So I think the government is focusing on this respect, but there is more need for societal and the community level participation in this. So that parents can also help their children. They should be aware about the mental pressures that they are facing right now, which is very different from their generations. When the social medias were not there, all these things have become very difficult for the young generation.
Yeah, I think the awareness amongst the families that you mentioned is very important, and awareness of the fact that seeking therapy or counseling, there's nothing wrong with it. They used to get taboo. People used to look down upon, but now it is important that they do. This is linked to a point which is very important, as you know, emotional intelligence, which is leadership through empathy, understanding, and even as a person, we should have a high level of EQ, emotional intelligence. So, do you think this aspect is not being focused upon as much in the education system, and even in the recruitment to government and corporates? We don't really assess the EQ of a person. Do you think there is a need for greater infusion of this particular aspect in all sectors of life? And emotional intelligence of a person should be not only assessed but also maybe developed, and people should be helped to become more emotionally intelligent. Do you think so?
Yes, sir. So there is a definite need for emotional intelligence as an important part of our curriculum and also as part of the recruitment drives that you have mentioned. Sir, there has been some changes in the educational system, as we can see in the happiness curriculum of Delhi schools. They are focusing on emotional intelligence. There are other ways also, and even if we see in the context of India, emotional intelligence is a very ancient concept which has been given to us again by the Western concept in the form of emotional intelligence.
Who is the founder of it, the concept? Do you know?
Sir, the most popular is Daniel Goleman, but it is a very old concept, even seen in case of India's ancient scriptures, where the self-awareness or the Atam Bodh, as it is called, it's very old concept. And time and again, many people like Mahatma Gandhi in his Varda scheme of education, even the works of Rabindranath Tagore, they have mentioned this. And even Rabindranath Tagore focused on nature as a medium to introspection and connection with the nature. So I think there is a need for more emotional intelligence focus in our curriculum right now. And the recruitment process, like you mentioned, in UPSC also, the stressful situations that have been made by the board by taking 2 exams or having tight schedules is, I think, focused on emotional intelligence to be able to handle the pressures of the exam, to be able to be very ready with the worst situations. So I think in some way they have incorporated the aspect, but it is not very explicit as of now.
Alright, earlier in the interview you mentioned 1 or 2 apps, you mentioned MyGov.
Yes.
Any other apps? Let us take 2 more examples of government apps which have succeeded in fulfilling their objectives. They have been a revolution. They have been really effective in enabling the common people to access government services in various ways.
So there is Umang app, which has consolidated almost 1500 services of the government. It is very revolutionary by making it more accessible to the people, the services. And the second thing I can think of is the UPI, Bhim UPI, which has reached the highest ever transactions online. almost 8 billion transactions, which has become a prototype for the word to replicate even at the world level. And India has been a proponent of that even at G20, and other countries are being trained for that. So I think these two apps have become
Good example. Okay, you are a lady officer, I mean, hopefully you will be a lady officer. So the thing is that looking into the aspect of women empowerment, women in society even today, safety, security, the ability to do what you wish to do without any hindrance for a girl. What do you feel about all this, and what do you think personally if you are selected, posted somewhere? Let us say you are in a subdivision or district. What do you think is the gap, and how will you bridge that gap in your area?
So I think whatever problem I'll face in the district where I'm posted, first of all, I need to look at it in a very rational manner. The problem should be analyzed at first, not just in the aspect of the problem itself, but the people who are impacted by it. There is a need for proper assessment of the problem from the aspects of the stakeholders.
Let's be specific.
Okay.
We talk about problems of girls and women in that area.
Yes.
What are the problems that a rural woman, let's say, faces today? What will you do in your area for that problem?
So first of all, I'll assess what kind of safety issues the women are facing. If there is a problem of school girl safety or the public transport safety. So I'll first of all pinpoint the vulnerable areas, whether there is a proper lighting or what are the problematic areas where most of the women are facing the problem. Then I'll talk to the women of the area by having their viewpoint should be heard first of all. So what are the problems they are facing? Then I'll try to analyze what should be done first in the short term, intermediate and long term, so that I should use the first low hanging fruits like lighting the region, having proper women's squad, and then securing the public buildings where they should be very accessible to the women. Then I'll use the finances and I'll try to procure the finances from the ministry so that more sustainable solutions can be taken up for women, which require not just like it will require a lot of efforts, so it will need more efforts. So I think in a graded manner and in a hierarchical approach, I'll do that for the women.
Let's talk about two ways in which women can be empowered well. Let us say, I'll give you two areas. One is to help them to start up, become entrepreneurs. The other is through sports. These are two divergent ways. Talk about them. What are your thoughts on both these avenues for women empowerment?
So I think both of them are very good avenues. As far as the startup culture is concerned, there is a need for specific focus on women through self-help groups, cooperatives and farmer producer organizations. If we see 60% of the laborers are women, so they need to be they need to be come together so that they have a more bargaining power. So self-help groups, cooperatives and farmer producer organizations I think would be the best mediums so that they can have a collective power, which is usually not there with the women. The second thing I think startups can do is by providing them microfinancing, which the Grameen banks have been doing. The third thing I would do is having more skills, capacity building and marketing ability of the startups of the women, which they generally don't get. And the last thing we need is social re-engineering, because generally women are not seen in the same light as that of other entrepreneurs. There are trust issues in the society.
Other than men.
Yes, sir. So there are trust issues in the society because they are not paid equally as compared to men, as we have seen in the case of gender pay gaps. So there is a need for change in the society that they should be looked upon as an entrepreneur, not as a woman entrepreneur.
Right.
And in the case of sports, I think there is more need for rural level engagement, as certainly we have seen in the case of various sports persons which are coming up, like Sheetal Devi. So there is an immense potential for rural women because they have less avenues to come up rather than the urban women. So there is need for opening up more sports playgrounds which are not there in the rural sectors. And the problem with the sports culture especially in case of women, is the lack of safety in the coaching centers that we have seen in the recent protests also in this context. So there is need for more safety in the coaching centers for women, so that their parents trust and they should let them go away from their home to have such kind of priorities. And also lastly, I think there is need for equal opportunities. Like recently the women cricket team got the same salary as that of men cricket team. So we need more of that in case of hockey, in case of football and other avenues as well.
Right, I agree. Give me an example of a cottage industry maybe led by women which has succeeded very well. Any field that you can think of?
So there is Lijjat Papad, which is very famous, and there is Kudumshri. They are having many products which are women-led, and they are also marketing it well. So there is a Northeast startup by some Northeast women. I cannot remember the name, recall the name right now, but they are focusing on the traditional clothing, through which they have become very successful.
Okay, name 3 Olympic medalists who are women from India.
So the first is the badminton player PV Sindhu. She has won the Olympic medal. Then there is Sakshi Malik. She was a wrestler. And lastly, I think there is there is Saina Nehwal. She was also, I think, Olympic.
Not sure about Saina Nehwal.
Weightlifter Karnam Malaysia.
Karnam, then you can say Mary Kom maybe,
Yes.
and also Dinesh Pawar or something. No, there was some problem. Anyway, over to you.
Okay, so apart from serving the nation, what is the driving force why you want to be part of Indian administrative system? Well, you get that answer, you want to serve the nation. Apart from that,
So I think there is a lot of career growth and progression that I can see. There is diversity of fields where I can work with the Indian administrative services. Also, sir, I think the ability to transform lives is very high. So the one person can actually touch lives of so many people with this kind of services. So I think that would help me. And also there is some element of the security that I think as a woman I need in my personal life.
so stability, security, and you could say some growth-driven initiatives are the one you are looking for. And you mentioned about transforming life. So have you ever feel that you have already in this span have done some initiative where you can say that you have transformed life of some person? Could be in some humble ways.
Yes, sir. So I've been teaching students since my school days, free of cost. So the underprivileged children, especially in the case of COVID, I was teaching many students online, free of cost. So when I talk to them right now, so they tell me that it had a transformational impact on their lives because they were able to learn from me despite having no finances.
So why not teaching as a full-fledged career where you could run an NGO and you could transform lives of so many slum or you could say less privileged children? So that would also be a great transformation of life.
So if I restrict myself to teaching, I will be able to do only the teaching, the educational sector reforms that I wish to do. But if I'm part of the Indian Administrative Services, I will be able to do a lot more than that, even in health sector, even in women empowerment and other fields.
So that's a fair answer. So, and what are your hobbies or interests which keep you going? Because how many years have you invested in the civil service preparation?
So it's been 5 years.
So 5 years is a long time. So what kept you going? What are your interests and hobbies?
So I really like Ecocrafting, which is upcycling of the waste materials into some design or sustainable elements or useful elements. And the second thing that I'm really interested is the culinary heritage of the Punjab's Malwa region. So I really enjoy understanding the process of art of cuisines from my
So the
elders.
culinary heritage was in recently in news because 2 Indian cities have made it to UNESCO list of creative cities network based on gastronomy as a category.
Yes, sir.
Can you name those 2 cities?
Yes, sir. The first city is Hyderabad. It is famous for the spices of the region, and the second is the Lucknow, which is very famous for its Mughlai cuisine.
Right? And the first hobby you mentioned is directly or indirectly to waste management. So currently the 5R principle is advocated quite aggressively by the government. So can you just name what these 5 R's are?
So it is reuse, recycle, reduce, reform, I guess, and I'm not sure.
Reform is not the.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. I just know the 3 hours.
3 R's. Any one R which you feel you can give a practical example which you have already done in your life.
So recycle is what I usually do. So I take
Which
up.
product was the last you recycled?
So recently at Diwali festival, I used the earlier earthen pots and I painted them back and made few wind chimes using the last year's earthen
Yes,
pots.
great initiative. And recently Diwali was in news in this week. So can you just select what was the reason why is Diwali in news now?
So it was because of the firecrackers and the pollution problem in the NCR.
Not for positive reason.
Okay, so
Recently UNESCO has
yes, sir. It has been added in the intangible culture.
intangible. So how many entries India have currently of intangible cultural category for this specific number?
I'm not sure, but I think it is 16.
16. So name any 2 other apart from Diwali which are you feel are pride of India's intangible cultural category.
So the first is Ram Leela
Okay.
and the second one I would say is Durga Puja.
Alright. So can you name the states where?
Yes, sir. So Ram Leela is popular all over India, even outside India if we see in case of Southeast Asia. But mostly it is northern region where it is most popular. And Durga Puja is famous in Kolkata, but it is also celebrated all over India.
So you are from Punjab, basically you are Fazilka.
Yes, sir.
So why are Punjabis so obsessed with Chandigarh? Recently in winter session, 131st Constitutional Amendment Bill was to be brought up, which would have been parity to UTs like the other. So why do you feel Punjab is not letting go or you is so?
So I think there is a historical reason for it because Punjab's villages were taken up and they were redeveloped into Chandigarh region. There were some areas of Haryana also, but the majority portions and major villages were part of Punjab. The second thing I think the reason would be is the high amount of Punjabis living in the Chandigarh region having quite similar culture, and that would be the reason. Third, it is a joint capital. So capital is a very sensitive issue for any state. So that would be the reason for.
And we have seen multiple capitals change in history of Punjab. When it was undivided Punjab, what was the capital then?
So the undivided Punjab had Lahore as its capital, political capital, and religious capital was Amritsar.
Okay, but when we became independent, this part was separated. So which was the temporary capital which was operated briefly?
Sorry, sir, I have no idea.
It was erstwhile British summer capital as well. Now, if you want to make a guess, it was the summer capital of British, but that was also served till 1953 when officially Chandigarh was created.
So if I could take a guess, I think it could be Chandigarh or
Shimla. So now eventually in 1960, because 1970 Indira Gandhi would have promised that Haryana can develop its own capital. So what do you think? Should Haryana develop its own capital?
So I would say that Haryana should develop its capital because none of the parties would easily give up on the Chandigarh as a capital because it is a very strategic region having both the elements. So I would say.
You want status quo, that things
Yes,
like
sir.
the currently are going, they should
Yes.
serve better. And recently Prime Minister mentioned about Hindu rate of growth, because that has an economic term which has been used. Can you just simplify what exactly is the Hindu rate of growth?
So it was a term used by a economics professor who told that the 3 to 5% rate that India had before the LPG reforms was, he told it to be Hindu rate of growth because it was very low rate of growth as per his opinion.
So what is the Prime Minister's apprehension? Because this has been a
So he is apprehensive about using the word Hindu rate as because it is a pluralistic society that we are having, it is a secular country, and using a specific word to mention the whole country's growth is not really right in his opinion. So that was the reason.
And you are from commerce background, so anything you feel commerce can be used in administrative service? Can you give any specific example where you feel your knowledge of commerce would be ideally useful for administrative service?
So commerce is a very wide field having different disciplines like finance, organizational management, organizational behavior. So all that is very essential for any administrative purpose. So and in case of public finance, I think it would be very useful for me.
And what is your weakness as an individual?
So I think my weakness is my detail orientation. I sometimes happen to be a perfectionist and it may lead
But
to
perfection
problems.
is a good thing.
But so I think it can derail the things and it can miss the targets and the timelines that we need to work on. So, yeah.
And one human trait which you feel makes you different from others, or you feel that it's your strength?
So I think I'm a very self-aware person and I accept the things the way they are, or I try to accept the things they are. So I try to look the things in a very rational manner. So I think that is very important for any
So
person.
do you think that has helped in your UPSC journey, or it has been quite long, 5 years?
Yes, sir, because I was able to assess my weaknesses and the problems I had in my strategy, and I used to accept them and try to work on them.
So you have one more attempt left.
Yes.
Suppose if it doesn't click, what is your backup?
So I think I would love to go in research. I am JRF qualified, so I would like to work in the public finance field or academics if not able to be
Not able.
Yes,
Have you read any books recently? Any book you're reading?
yes, sir. So recently I read The Kite Runner by Khalid Hussain.
You like those kind of books?
Yes.
Who is your favorite author?
So I think recently, so my favorite author, I won't say that one specific, but I really like Polo's books, The Alchemist and
Yeah.
yes.
So now your work, your hobbies, they are all very creative, very constructive. But as a human being, we all have some downtime when we are not supposed to be perfect. So for you, what is that? Any imperfections?
Oh,
Except for the pursuit of perfection. Any other imperfections?
so I think because I am a workaholic, so I tend to work less on my health and my physical health importantly. So I think.
So you never spend time in entertainment.
So I really like watching movies also. So
Which one is your
occasionally-
favorite?
So it's a very old movie, but I really like the Tamil movie. It's an old movie.
Have you watched The Intern? Robert De Niro.
No, sir.
Have you watched Sam Bahadur?
No, sir.
Which is your favorite Hindi movie, modern?
Which is the last Hindi movie you watched? Any recent time? Or in
Maybe
the 5 years you have been dedicated?
So recently, the last movie that I watched, I cannot recall right now. So
Big West.
Not worth watching. Not worth watching. Alright, I think we close the interview. We have got your assessment. We understand you well. So we'll just switch it off and give you some feedback. Thank you very much.